Hey, what's up, Money Masters? In this video, we are going to talk about your money personality. This is something that's really important to understand because we're all born with a certain way of doing things. Some of us are a little bit faster at things, some of us are a little bit slower, some are a little bit more quiet, analytical, some are a little bit more free flow. Some of that comes across into our money life as well. And so I have on the screen here 4 letters. There's 4 different main personalities that I've come across, and I want to share them with you. The first is a spender. You guys can guess what a spender is. Someone who generally is really comfortable earning and then spending everything they have. They're free, they're fun, they're playful, they like to go out to dinner, they like to treat their friends, they like to buy the next gadget, and spending is a joyful thing. Nothing really wrong with spending, unless it gets to a point where you're consuming beyond your means. So spenders are actually really good balancers of other personalities. They help others have permission to have fun. It's really cool. In my family dynamic, my wife is a bit more of a spender. She brings the fun in our life. I, on the other hand, am one of the other personalities. And let's talk about the next one. This is a saver. A saver is someone who typically likes to keep more of their money. They might be a little bit less likely to spend. They might spend less on things than others would. For example, a spender might be willing to spend $100 on a pair of jeans, where a saver might be willing to spend $20 to $40 on a pair of jeans and keep the difference in their bank account. They're really obsessed with growing that bank account and making sure that they don't do things that are perhaps viewed as, what might you say, indulgent. Savers are pretty hesitant to spend. The next one is an avoider. An avoider is someone who kind of has the personality of a spender. They get the things that they want and need, but they don't really like to see what's happening. An avoider, this is perhaps the most challenging of the money personalities. There might be some beliefs that have been taken on as a younger person where money was tight as a family, and so you heard your parents say something like, we can't afford it, you can't have that right now, rich people are evil or bad, people are greedy, money's bad, and so you have to live with money. Like, we can't do without it, but there's still this belief that you shouldn't do anything. Like, if you have any money, you're bad, because that's what you learned growing up, and so you avoid it. You avoid looking at the income that's coming in. You like automatic payroll deposits to your bank account. You spend on a debit card. You don't really think about your transactions. Maybe you use a credit card as well, and you maybe set things up on automatic transaction. I had a client once who was almost incapable of looking at their finances, and the spouse, who was more of the saver and more organized, wanted their other spouse to take over the financial life and try to train them on doing things better. And for a couple years, because of that attempt at getting the avoider to not avoid, they ended up in significant debt, bad credit, and it really harmed their financial life and their marriage dynamic. And so we have to be careful as avoiders to recognize that behavior and to recognize there's probably limiting beliefs that are causing that behavior that needs to be looked at and balanced. We have to see with open eyes, otherwise we can't make positive change. And of course that applies to all personalities, but particularly to those who tend to avoid. Now the last one is an amasser. An amasser, these I would say are fewer, and they're the ones who tend to be really wealthy. They are almost obsessed with acquiring money, cash flow, and assets. They might be business owners. They might be like the Elon Musks of the world, although interesting thing about Elon is he's not really in it for the money, he's in it for the life change. There's a massive purpose in his life. So in the context of an amasser, he's an amasser of value creation. He likes to know that the work he's doing is making a difference for the entire world, and perhaps the entire next multiple generations of our planet. It's pretty amazing. Others of his style who are really, really wealthy are a little more on the luxury side. They like to have the means to do whatever they want whenever they want. Now, of course, those are really, really big amassers. And a master on the lower end might really be uncomfortable only having a couple of $100,000 in the bank, where a saver might be comfortable with a few thousand in the bank, and they're just living within their means, and they might live kind of in a more scarcity mindset. Masters are very abundant in the way that they do things. They like to solve problems, big problems. They like to be known for what they're doing. And so what I have found is there's sometimes a shift. A saver might become more of an amasser as they understand how money works and how value creation works. A spender might moderate some of their behavior once they recognize what's going on and be willing to save more so that they can have more of the things they want later. Instead of spending it all today on smaller things, they might be willing to delay some of that gratification to a later date so they can get the bigger toy and the bigger emotional win, the dopamine hit in their brain that says, hey, that felt really good to go spend that. But they might become a little bit more of a saver. An avoider might be willing to look at their financial life and say, oh, actually I have a tendency to spend. I really enjoy spending money, or I really enjoy the benefit of saving. And then once you really get your personality identified and you make some adjustments to be more on the positive side of that, then I think most of us kind of would like to be more on the amasser side of personality. But I think there's partly a skill there. Not only is it just a natural thing for some people to be really good at accumulating wealth, I think it's also a learned skill. So the first thing is just to have an awareness around your personality, where you tend to be, so you can be mindful of that as part of the way you go about making your spending plan, your cash flow plan, living within your means, the type of saving that you do, and where you find the greatest benefits in the way you manage money. So hopefully that was helpful. You enjoyed that, and you can go take a look at what your money personality is. We'll see you in the next one.